I'm Nina from Eat Bake Blog, and if you're anything like me, you have quite a few recipes that call for butternut squash. But how do you go from this to the small, evenly chopped up pieces for your recipes? Well, I will show you in just a few easy steps how you can accomplish that. So first you want to have a peeler. This is a basic, I call it a Y-shaped peeler because it's kind of shaped like a Y. Then you want to have a sharp knife, and then you want to have a spoon to scoop out the seeds. So first I'm going to get started with the peeler. You want to start at the top of the squash and peel down, and you'll get like one big strand of skin. So you want to do that, moving the squash as you go, rotating it. And you're going to do this until everything is peeled off of the squash. You'll want to also peel the top and bottom. You see there's a little bit of skin left on the bottom. So what you do is you just take the peeler and go straight across and get as much of that off as you can. There will still be a little bit left, but we'll just cut it off with our knife. Same thing with the top. Just peel until you've got all of it off that you can. Okay, so now I'm going to put all of this in our trash bowl. And now we're ready to cut through the squash. So what you want to do first is you want to cut the squash in half, going long ways. So you'll cut through and make a top half and a bottom half. So you want to take your sharp knife and cut it just above where the bump starts to go back in towards the top. Okay. So now I have a top half and a bottom half. So we will start with the bottom half, and you want to cut straight through the bottom half, exposing the interior of the squash. So now we want to get rid of the seeds. So you'll just take a spoon and cut through, similar to how you would remove the seeds from your jack-o'-lantern pumpkin after you carve it. So take the seeds out and scrape out that inner soft membrane. And this part is super easy. It should be easy just to get all of that out. You could save the seeds because they are, after all, pumpkin seeds, and roast those up. Okay, so we have one half done. So now we want to start to dice this up. So remember the bottom, we still had a little bit of skin left, and then there's the bottom core. You want to remove that, so just take your knife and cut little slits into it. And just take that part right out. So we'll do that with the second one. That way you have no hard pieces of butternut squash. There you go. So now we'll start to actually dice these up. So when you dice up a butternut squash, you can really do any size or shape that you want, but I think that as long as they're uniform in size, they'll all cook at the same rate. So you can really do any size or shape that you want, but for most of my recipes, I find that a 1-inch dice works the best. So you just slice it up into little fingers, and then cut the little fingers into 1-inch cubes. Now we want to prep that top half, and this top half is where you have the stem. So we actually just want to cut off that stem, just like we did from the bottom. You should be able to cut right through it. Put it in our trash bowl, and then just like we did the bottom half, you want to cut right through the middle. Again, making two halves, and this is the easier of the two halves because you don't have to scoop anything out. So I turn it over so that you have a more stable foundation to slice through, and just cut it right down the middle and set one of the halves aside. And now again, you want to make those same 1-inch cubes, so cut right down the side, and then this one's big enough to where I can turn it over and cut through it again. And then we will go ahead and make the 1-inch cubes, working down these. Okay, so now we have a tray full of perfectly diced 1-inch, or about 1-inch sized butternut squash. So now we are ready to get started on my butternut squash gratin.